Hello, good morning, and welcome to Ben Shatliff on Sunday. Today is Sunday, February 12th, 2023. Over the next few minutes, we'll be looking at the main news stories which are affecting us this Sunday morning. Of course, we're having some reflection, as we always do, religious wise, from the Bible Alive. And I want to talk about something very, very major which has happened over the last week, and that is the earthquake in Syria and Turkey. If anybody wishes to make a donation to the Disasters and Emergency Committee, then the telephone number for this is 0370 6060 610. That's 0370 6060 610. Every penny which is donated and any part of how that anybody can give will definitely be well and truly welcomed. Today's programme is dedicated to the people who have lost their lives in Turkey and Syria over the last 6 or 7 days, and is dedicated to all those people who need as much help as possible to try and get a kind of life. We're fully aware that nobody could ever say that life can be normal after such devastating tragedy which has happened this week. Newspapers and online news platforms feed on anger. Their headlines often carry the words rage, fury, or incandescent. There are many things that make us angry, various situations, other people, even ourselves. Often we justify our anger and blame others. Sometimes we admit, after cooling down, that we may have misspoken or misjudged. Anger isn't a pretty emotion, and YouTube is replete with videos of angry priests or bishops who've let their guard down only for it to be recorded and uploaded for posterity. Jesus teaches that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you say you fool, you will be liable to the hell of fire. For Jesus, anger is the root of murder. Angry feelings, if they're nursed and not dealt with, become hatred. The fruit of hatred can sometimes be actual murder. Jesus warns us to avoid the possibility of such appalling fruit by dealing ruthlessly with the initial feelings of anger. We feel we have the right to be angry if we're exploited, let down, hurt, used, or rejected. It's indeed a natural and proper reaction to such things. Jesus doesn't say that we cannot feel anger. What he says is that we don't have the right, in normal circumstances, to hang on to it and express it. Instead, we need to let it go so that we can imitate him better. There were, of course, occasions when Jesus himself experienced righteous anger and expressed it, but his anger never led him to sin. When he was betrayed, insulted, ridiculed, tortured, and crucified, he had full right to feel angry. If he did have any such feelings, he must have let go of them, for he says of his oppressors, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Jesus shows us a new way of living. As his disciples, we must emulate him. Therefore, whenever we're angry, we must acknowledge our anger, then let go of it by calling on the Lord's grace. The Holy Spirit will give us the power to fulfill his commandment to live as he did. And Father, with grace, help me to let my anger go and to live in peace. Amen. Okay, I'm just going to leave that completely there, but just, of course, remember that today's programme is dedicated to the people who've been the victims of the earthquake in Syria and Turkey. I'm pretty sure that around the country and around the world there are various different local organisations as well as national organisations who are doing everything that they can to try and send stuff to those two countries to try and help those people and their victims. On the headlines this Sunday morning, then security is rapidly deteriorating in Turkey as the death toll passes 28,000 people. Let's think about that. This stage last Sunday, and we are now at 4 minutes past 10, and they are a couple of hours ahead of us in Turkey. Then they were most likely having Sunday lunch or, doing whatever, having time with their families. And this terrible earthquake then happened later. And of course, in Syria, we all know the devastation that has been going on there for the last 12 years. And people who were fleeing from the war-torn scenario to try and evacuate, to try and get help for themselves, were then refugees in an earthquake as well. Absolutely devastating. There has been many stories of hope there where a boy of 9 has been pulled out alive after 5 days underground. They are saying about the final hours to find the survivors. And in America, the US stealth fighter has shot down a US stealth fighter has shot down an unidentified object over Canada. You remember last week we were talking about the balloon that was in the skies above Montana. There's 2 of them that were then shot down last week. And it has been stated now that the BBC chair has made significant errors of judgment. Of course, we know that the BBC chair had to be embroiled due to possibility was he hired on the advice of the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The BBC chair Richard Sharp made significant errors of judgment over the £800,000 loan that, of course, Boris Johnson had initially asked for. And this is something I myself remember very, very well in the thoughts here with the family of James Bulger, 30 years after his murder in Bootle in 1993. I remember how that completely horrified the nation and thoughts with all the family at this very, very difficult time. On Wednesday this week, most of us were very, very surprised, but also very pleased with the news that President Zelensky was visiting the United Kingdom. He met up with the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, and then I was able to see not all of it, but some of the speech which he made in St George's Hall when he addressed Parliament. It was absolutely fantastic. He then went on to meet King Charles III and said thank you for giving me the time to spare. And of course, he then went on to Portsmouth with the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, speaking to Ukrainian soldiers, getting ready with the tanks and various different things. But one of the things that he mentioned, which stuck out, when he said, freedom will win. And that's something that we spoke about yesterday at the rally for Manchester Stands with Ukraine. And freedom will win. There is no ifs or buts about that whatsoever. But I think the headline from the Metro newspaper on Thursday, when it said Ukraine, and of course, with both the British and the Union Jack, and of course, the Ukraine flag, UK reign, absolutely perfect. Reigning together to make sure that this war comes to an end. The wonderful picture there showing President Zelensky meeting up with King Charles III, and of course, that's when he was speaking in St George's Hall. And yes, of course, just a few months ago, that is the same hall where those very steps people were coming down when they were walking past our late Queen Elizabeth II, who lay in state when she passed away on September the 8th. And we all know that there are many, many countries in our world where there is trouble. And we all know that ideally in our world, we would like to see a world where there is complete peace, with no war, no famine, nothing at all that can cause any kind of an issue. And of course, I said that we're going to dedicate this programme today to the people of Syria and Turkey. When you think that over 28,000 people have been killed as a result of an earthquake, that is a natural disaster. But so many people, it's not just the fact that tragically thousands of people have been killed, thousands of people have been injured, but the World Health Organization was saying on Good Morning Britain earlier this week that this could affect up to 23 million people in total. And it's just absolutely devastating. And this is why our world, as I've said this many times before, our world needs to be where we don't have these dictators like Putin and some of the others. We just have the people that want to live harmoniously. We can never have a complete world of peace where there's no disagreement at all, because sometimes someone will have a disagreement over something. But we need everybody working together so that when tragedy, disasters like this happen, even the word disaster doesn't really seem appropriate because of what's happened, but when you have a major situation like this where people can work together and say, right, this country's going to do something, this country, we're all doing something together without people thinking about the wars and everything else, and because of aggressors in this world making things so much more different. So our thoughts are today with the people of Syria, the people of Turkey, and if anyone can give a help, can help in any way, shape or form, then I gave you the number just a short time ago, in which can be done. And I'm actually looking now as I speak at the Disasters and Emergency Committee, and they're actually just saying there about the fact that 28,000 people have died and many thousands are injured in Turkey and Syria, with numbers expected to rise. They're saying 17 million people in the affected area, many of them in urgent need of shelter, food, and medical aid. And like I say, anything at all that anybody can do, then it's 0370 6060 610. So that's 0370 6060 610. Over the coming weeks here on Ben Shatliff on Sunday, we will be, of course, thinking about the people of Ukraine as we always do, because, of course, it's coming up to the first anniversary in 2 weeks' time, well, under 2 weeks now, from the Russian invasion. We mustn't forget, though, this is 9 years since the annexation of Crimea. So although the full-scale invasion has been going on now for almost 12 months, it's 9 years since Putin first invaded and annexed Crimea, and all the faults are with the people of Ukraine, not just today, but every day. We will get this sorted out and have the peace and freedom in Ukraine that those people so rightly deserve. And anything that anybody at all can do here in the United Kingdom, anywhere in the world, then please do so we can bring the war to an end, and the perpetrator Putin can face the justice that he so rightly so, and then the world itself can get some stability because people say about the cost of living and various different things itself. And I think that if we sort out what's happening in Ukraine, then we can then look at different ways to try and sort things out on the economical side of the world. But when there's danger and terror going on to people, that is the priority as far as I'm concerned. Right, excuse me. So the focus, of course, will be on Ukraine over the coming weeks. I'll let you know via social media various different things which are happening here in Manchester and other parts of the country if I do get those feeds. Ben Shatliff on Sunday will continue every Sunday, unless, of course, hopefully, health has started to take a good side now after having to take some time off earlier a few weeks ago. Wishing everybody a very good and peaceful Sunday and a very, very good week ahead. Remember, we, the people of God, we, the people of this earth, can make those vital differences to make things better for everybody else, not make things worse and not make things aggressive. I wish everybody a very good and peaceful Sunday. For now, goodbye.